All right, everyone, buckle up for a deep dive into a career that's, well, it's got a lot more moving parts than your average desk job.
I'd say that's putting it mildly.
We're talking about aircraft maintenance coordinators. And let me tell you, this isn't just about, handing out wrenches.
Not even close.
I've got a whole stack of RoleCatcher resources here ready to break it all down. But to get us started, imagine this. You're the conductor of an orchestra, right? But instead of instruments, you're coordinating mechanics, schedules, spare parts.
Oh, and don't forget the occasional flock of geese on the runway. Those can throw a wrench in the gears, so to speak.
Okay, geese aside, that's a pretty good analogy.
Mhm.
You're responsible for keeping those planes in tip-top shape. Talk about high stakes.
Absolutely. It's about maintaining that crucial balance between safety and efficiency.
So let's dive into the nitty-gritty. RoleCatcher really paints a picture of what the work environment is actually like.
It's definitely not your typical office job, that's for sure.
When they say work environment, they mean hangars, workshops,
Yeah.
probably even braving the elements sometimes.
Oh, absolutely. Rain or shine, sleet or snow, the planes need to fly.
And what about the hours? Are we talking weekends, holidays, the whole nine yards?
Let's just say that aviation never sleeps, and neither do the people who keep it running smoothly.
So not exactly a 9 to 5 kind of gig then.
Not even close.
Right.
But it's rewarding in a way few other jobs can be. We'll get into that a bit later, I promise. But first,
So we're talking about a demanding job, that's for sure. Long hours, unpredictable situations. But RoleCatcher also highlights some pretty great perks. What about those?
well, you're playing a crucial role in a massive industry. Skilled coordinators are in high demand, which means
Competitive salaries,
you got it. And the benefits are nothing to sneeze at either.
I bet. And what about growth? Where can this role take you down the line?
Oh, lots of possibilities. RoleCatcher has a whole section on career stages.
Okay, interesting. Like what kind of paths?
Well, some specialize. Become the go-to expert for, say, engine maintenance or avionics.
I see, I see. So you could really find your niche.
Exactly. Or you could move into management, overseeing teams, maybe even multiple maintenance facilities.
So there's real potential to climb the ladder.
Absolutely.
But let's be real, RoleCatcher doesn't sugarcoat things. This role comes with its fair share of stress, right?
Yeah, there's no getting around that. You're responsible for safety, for keeping those planes in the air.
It's a lot of pressure.
It is. You're making decisions, often with limited information, and the clock is always ticking.
I can give an example.
Sure. One time, I had to coordinate an emergency landing and engine swap because, well, a bird strike took out one of the engines during takeoff.
Well, wow.
We had to work fast, get those passengers on their way, minimize the disruption to other flights. It was intense.
I can imagine. So you need a cool head under pressure. What other skills are we talking about? What does it take to be a successful aircraft maintenance coordinator?
Well, RoleCatcher emphasizes analytical skills. You're constantly evaluating situations, troubleshooting.
Right, because things don't always go according to plan.
Exactly. And then there's communication.
So it's not just about the planes. It's about people, too.
It really is. You're the link between the mechanics, the pilots, air traffic control, sometimes even the passengers.
Wow. So you need to be a good communicator.
Definitely. And of course, there are the technical skills.
Right, you need to know what you're talking about.
You don't need to rebuild a jet engine yourself, but a solid understanding of the procedures, the safety regulations.
Frontology.
That's a big one, especially now. RoleCatcher talks about how the industry is going through a major transformation.
Yeah, with all the new technology.
Yeah.
What kind of trends should aspiring coordinators be aware of?
Well, predictive maintenance is huge, using data analysis sensors to anticipate problems before they even happen.
So it's like a Fitbit, but for airplanes.
That's a great way to put it. It's all about being proactive, staying ahead of the curve.
That's got to make things more efficient, safer.
Absolutely. And then there's the rise of drones, using
Yeah.
them for inspections instead of setting someone up on a scaffold.
Oh, wow, that's fascinating.
Faster, safer,
Yeah.
and you get incredibly detailed information.
That's amazing. So with all this new technology, it seems like the learning never really stops in this field.
You're absolutely right. And RoleCatcher stresses the importance of continuous learning, certifications, keeping up with the latest advancements.
So we've established that continuous learning is key here. But where do you even begin? What are some practical steps to, stand out in this field?
Well, RoleCatcher has a whole section on certifications, and the aircraft maintenance engineer license is, well, It's a big one.
I bet that one carries some weight.
Oh, absolutely. It's
Yeah.
globally recognized, shows a deep understanding of aircraft systems, maintenance practices.
It's like the gold standard for anyone serious about this career.
Exactly.
We talked about networking earlier. How important is that in the aviation world?
It's huge. Remember those organizations we mentioned? ACI, IUOE, EAA, those are gold mines for networking. Conferences, online forums, even just connecting with people on LinkedIn.
Right, because experience speaks volumes.
It really does. You can gain so much insight, build relationships that can open doors down the line.
So it's not just what you know, it's who you know.
Exactly.
And when it comes to actually landing the job, RoleCatcher had some interesting advice about, well, beating those automated recruiting systems.
Oh, yeah, those things can be brutal.
It sounds like tailoring your resume and cover letter is key.
It's essential. One size fits all doesn't fly here. You need to be specific, targeted.
Like you're prepping a plane for takeoff.
Exactly. Every detail matters.
No more generic applications.
No way.
Yeah,
And this is where that passion for aviation really comes into play.
I hope so.
Highlight projects, volunteer work, even hobbies that show off your skills, your commitment to safety. Did you build a drone in your garage? Mention it. Spend a summer volunteering at an airfield. That's gold.
So it's about connecting the dots, showing them this isn't just a job, it's a passion.
You got it.
And don't underestimate the power of a good cover letter.
Oh, I agree. That's your chance to really speak to the hiring manager, you know? Convey your enthusiasm. Explain why you're the perfect fit.
It's like the pre-flight briefing before an interview. Make sure you're clear, concise, and ready to impress.
Exactly.
Well, we've covered a lot of ground today, from the day-to-day realities of the job to the skills and strategies needed to really thrive.
It's a fascinating field.
It really is. And you know, one thing that really struck me is that even with all this talk about automation, technology, the human element is still so vital in aviation.
Couldn't agree more. Those planes might be marvels of engineering, but it's the skilled hands and, well, the sharp minds of the coordinators that keep them running smoothly.
Absolutely. And that sense of purpose, knowing you're ensuring safety, efficiency in a field that literally connects the world. That's pretty amazing.
Yeah.
So to anyone out there considering this path, embrace the challenge. Never stop learning.
And always put safety first.
Couldn't have said it better myself. And don't forget to check out the show notes for all those RoleCatcher resources we mentioned. They've got everything you need to get started.
Absolutely, a wealth of information.
Well, on that note, it's time for us to land this deep dive. Thanks for joining us, everyone. And remember,
The sky's the limit.
until next time.